Hello! Good to see you all! Welcome to another one of my inane ramblings. Today I'm going to ramble on about the Boss Katana. So, roll intro. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the Boss Katana. This one is the 50 watt version, there's also the 100 watt version, and apparently there's a new updated Katana 50 Mark II, which is not very different to this one, but I'll get into the detail of that a bit later on. Now, let's have a look at the features of the amp.
Hello, and welcome to a new series entitled The Top of a Boss Katana. So here we have the Boss Katana 50 control panel. It's on the top, and to the far left you can see an input. Now that's really good to have on an amp because otherwise you're screwed. Then you have amp type. You have acoustic, clean, crunch, lead and brown, and these progressively more dirty or hot as we go along. The acoustic is not just an acoustic simulator, it's actually an acoustic amp, so you can plug your acoustic into this. Then you have gain, volume, bass, middle, treble. Ooh, exotic stuff. Then you have booster / modulation, delay / effect, and then reverb. Now all of these come in 3 different modes, so you can't get booster and modulation at the same time, but you can get them separately. And for instance, the booster, now that comes in 3 different modes as do all of these. The modes are signified by colors, so it's green, then it's red, then it's orange, and the booster, for instance, has blues overdrive in green. When it's in red, it's overdrive, and when it's in orange, it's distortion, so you can shred. Yeah. You can probably imagine what the colors look like. You've probably seen green, red and orange before. Then we have the modulation. Over there we have chorus in green, flanger in red, flanger, we have flanger in red, and then we have phaser in orange. I don't know how to say flanger.
Get on with it.
Then we have the different delay types. In green it's digital, in red it's analog, and in orange it's tape echo. And the effects are tremolo in green, T-wah, so that's tracking wah in red, and octave in orange. And the reverbs are plate, spring and hall respectively. And to the right of the effects section we have the tone settings, so you can program 2 different programs, channel 1 and channel 2, and then you can get the panel separately, which I kind of assume you could program 2 different ones and then have the panel kind of set to a 3rd one, so you'd have 3 sounds actually, which would be very handy. And then you have the power control, which is you have a standby there, and then you have half a watt, which is good if you're playing home, 25 watts and 50 watts for full shred. And hey, that's the cuckoo clock. Then you have master volume, which is kind of a standard thing, and a power button. Yay for power buttons. Now, as you might have detected, I've actually recorded this bit after I recorded the rest of the video, so that's why I know some stuff that I didn't know in the video. Clever me.
And then...
Now, let's play through some of these features on the amp. Now, we're starting with clean. We're starting with the clean sound and no delay or anything, I think. No? Yeah, that's good. And that sounds like this. Now, it's a Fender Ingve Strat, nothing weird about this one, just so you have a point of reference. I have quite a lot of gain on, so you could turn down the gain a bit maybe. Or you can turn it all the way to full, because more is more. Now it starts to break up quite nicely with the gain at full, even on the clean setting. So let's go over to the crunch setting and see how that sounds. Look at that sound. So I'm going to turn the gain down a bit again, so I have it at 12 o'clock now. Now it's 2:30. Well, anyway, it sounds like this. And a bit more, so this is now roughly 3 o'clock. You could do quite nice blues stuff with this. And because I like delay, and well, who doesn't? Well, lots of people don't, but I do. I'll add a bit of delay to kind of make this a bit more interesting. That's a bit much. It also has a tap tempo, which is quite nice, especially if you can reach it. This is going great. That's better. The sound is quite nice in a way, but it's not really... It breaks up slightly differently to what I want. I like more vintagey sound. This is a bit too modern for my liking. But it's not bad. I mean, it's quite a cheap amp. So for the price, it's really quite okay. So let's add a bit more gain and maybe a bit of reverb as well. And perhaps a bit of boost. Now this is in the green mode. And because delay is nice, let's add a bit more of that. It sounds quite nice. Now I have the overdrive, the added overdrive up on full, but we can change that so it's a different type of overdrive. Now this is the red. Nice. That's the way an amp is supposed to sound. And then we can go to the next type of amp, or we could check out the last. This is the yellow. Yeah, that's the yellow overdrive, which is quite nice. I don't actually remember the exact ones. The green one was a blues screamer type thing, but the rest I've forgotten what they were. But I'll put subtitles in the video so you know which overdrives I'm talking about. Next up, the lead channel. Now it's starting to get really buzzy. Let's disconnect the overdrive and take the gain down quite a bit. So now it's at 12 o'clock. This is a bit better. Now EQ, I have almost everything on full, slightly backed off on the treble, but let's add a bit more gain. So I was at 12 o'clock just now, and now I'm at 3 o'clock. Well, it's not too bad. Gain up to full. And add a bit of overdrive from the pedal. Now, don't need the kind of the crazy type of overdrive because there's enough gain as it is. So, just a bit. It sounds quite okay. Now, still, it's a bit honky to my taste, or I don't know if that's the right word. It doesn't sound full enough. It's a bit honky, might be the right word. And the overdrive sounds a bit too... It sounds a bit cheap, actually. But I could still gig with this, especially considering the price. And there's enough power in this that you could play basically anywhere. One last setting for electric guitar on this, and that's the brown sound. I wonder where they got that. Now this is again gain roughly 12 o'clock. So if I change between lead the brown sound has a bit more bottom to it and it sounds a bit fuller, and when we add a bit of gain, or a bit, now it's on full, it sounds like this. So that's basically what the amp sounds like in the different settings that it has. You can of course tweak EQ and all that, and you can get modulation effects, and basically you can get all kinds of effects into the amp by downloading them through the Tone Central. You can have 3 of them at a time, so it's quite versatile. Problem is you can only save 2 of them on the older model. The newer one you can save 4, so that should cover most of your gigging kind of needs, and you can control them with a foot switch, and so that should be quite nice. Now, personally, I think it sounds quite good, and you might like it more than I do. I'm very picky when it comes to sound. There's just something about it that doesn't appeal to me, and even at this price I don't think I would actually buy one of these. Now, the good people of Boss might be pissed off at me for saying this, but that's just the way it is. I liked the old Roland Cube amps a lot more. The sound was better in those, for me, but you might be after a different sound, and this might be more up your alley, and that's all good. Now, just for me, a slight letdown considering the old Roland Cubes, and I've understood that Boss and Roland are kind of the same thing somehow. Not sure entirely how. I might be wrong, sue me. Haha. Anyway, that's basically it. This has great features. You can get it down to 2.5 watts, you can get it up to 50 watts, you can get it to 25, which I've been using now. You can tilt it back, which is great for gigging, and it's a great amp for someone who's starting out and moving from the bedroom into the world of actually playing live for someone. And it's a great amp for maybe a school or something like that. But personally, no, it's not for me. Sorry. Okay, so the last thing, of course, is we need to look at the acoustic section. We need to? No, we don't need to, but I want to. Because it has an acoustic section, which is not an acoustic simulation. It's an actual acoustic amp. And that's why they have the specially designed speaker, or at least that's what I assume, because if you play an acoustic through a regular Celestion, it'll probably sound like, well, let's not say what it will sound like, because we'll have to beep it. Well, it'll sound like but this is what it sounds like. Now I have it on the acoustic setting, and for a while I actually had the overdrive on. That sounded fun, but I'm not letting you see that. But this is what it sounds like. Now this is much better in my view than the electric guitar settings. This is quite good. I could gig with this. This sounds nice. And if you tweak the EQ a bit, you can change the sound a bit. If you have feedback problems, then you probably need something with notch filter capabilities. Like this guitar feeds back quite a lot at even medium volumes, but the actual amp sounds quite good like this. I really like it. So what's the overall verdict? Well, I kind of liked the acoustic section. It was good, you could gig with that. Didn't like the overdrive section for the electric stuff too much. It broke up nicely on the clean channel, which was great, but I would gig with it with an acoustic, but not with an electric. But that's just my personal taste. Now, it is quite versatile. It's basically for someone who maybe has a limited budget. It's great for someone like that. It's great for someone who's starting out. You can practice with it at home, but you can also take it to gigs, which is nice. Doesn't have all the bells and whistles, and it could do with having more programmable slots, user slots, but the newer one has 2 more, which should cover most needs. And well, it is quite nice for the price. So thank you for watching this video of strange ramblings by the bearded person with the guitar. I hope you liked it. If you did, please press the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with everyone. If you hated it, share it with your enemies. And yeah, hope to see you in another video. I'll noodle a bit with the acoustic just to end the video. Thank you. See you. Bye.